All right, sorry guys. If you can hear me now, that's perfect. Okay, so welcome. I'm the author of Smart Real Estate Wholesaling and the creator of myEmpirePRO. Today I have four questions that came in, and we're going to spend some time on answering those questions. Okay, we'll come here. This is from Data to Deal. We'll come here from Data to Deals. We'll come here at 4 p.m. every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, unless I'm out of town. So I'm always here just to answer questions if you have any questions. But a lot of the questions coming over the week and by way of email. So I'm going to address some of them here today. If you're wondering, this is a platform that's more about people that want to build a business. Okay. If you're looking for a way to close a fast deal, you're looking to get rich quick or anything like that, this may not be the platform for you. There are more than enough gurus out there teaching that kind of stuff. They're more entertaining, probably. They are more, they, basically show you, they just go out there and show you and entertain you. But if you want to be educated on how to build proper business, how to build systems, processes, so you can scale. So if it works one time, you can do it over and over again. Did you realize that literally, if you make $10,000 off of one deal, 100 deals in a year is literally $1 million in revenue? Okay. And to do that, as far as marketing costs, you don't have to spend up to $10,000 in a year. Okay. So that's like printing money if you really think about it. So but it's not going to work out like that if you don't have a process, if you don't have processes in place, if you don't make a system out of it, right? So you're going to make mistakes in this game, but the mistakes are a beautiful thing because you get to create systems out of them. There's no competition when you look at the game that way. Okay, but if you're looking for a way to make a quick buck, you want to pick up a phone and start dialing people, cold calling people, and you want to start texting everyone in the whole wide world and then offering them 50% of this estimate. If you want to do that, there's a lot of competition. Okay, so everyone and their moms and their pops are wholesalers now. Okay, but not okay. Don't get off. I don't want you to be. I'm not here to scare you because the honest truth is that an average human being still don't know what a wholesaling is. Okay, so I'm not here to scare you. I'm just letting you know that there is a healthy amount of competition as compared to 2005 when I started, as compared to 2010 when I first came online, 2009 rather, right? As compared to 2014 when I decided to do internet marketing together with wholesaling and real estate, right? And it's just getting higher and higher because internet gives that information out, and people can literally learn the process for free on YouTube. But if you're looking for a way to build a system out of this and everything like that, and that's what we do here at myEmpirePRO. With that being said, a couple of questions that came in, and let's dive in through that. I want to be done with this by 4:30 p.m. Okay, so I also just keep in mind that on Thursday I'm probably going to just do Q&As. If you have any questions, dump them in the chat box. Okay, the first question here today: can I watch you from start to finish wholesaling a house? So this came in randomly on one of the videos comments, and I guess the truth is that there's some videos out there of people that claim that they do that, but truth of the matter is that for you to be able to learn from beginning to end, this question comes in different forms. Some people will say, hey, can I offer to do something for you so you can mentor me? Some people say, is there anything I can help you with so you can coach me, right? And I know where those questions are coming from. Again, some gurus are teaching people to don't just approach a person to mentor you, find out what you could do for them. And then they take it verbatim and then they say it. So I know where those questions are coming from. And the good news is that I applaud that person because at least they're asking a question, right? At least they're asking questions. But the truth of the matter is that if anyone is worthwhile and they can mentor you, their time is worth something, right? They have to feed their family. And it doesn't have to be, it really doesn't have to be, like money. Okay. As far as you're paying people to coach you or mentor, it doesn't have to be that. As a matter of fact, I ended my personal coaching program We ended that last week, okay? But we do have mentorship program where you go through training, and then I can now say, hey, you got some questions, some educated questions, and I can help you. But again, you can see this question right here is an extremely broad question, but kind of precise at the same time. This person wants to know exactly how to go from start to finish. Okay, they want to know the stages, the milestones. What's the first thing? Another way that this question comes in a lot is like, how do I get started? I mean, that's an extremely broad question. How do I get started? Sometimes I'm tempted to say, buy some education, find a mentor, find a coach, but then that can also sound like, oh, you're trying to sell something. Well, I'm always trying to sell something, so I don't shy away from that by any means. But that's also very far from the truth. Where do I get started? Do you mean where are you? It really depends on where you are in the game. Like if you're all the way deep in and you already paid $5,000, $25,000 for a program, an educational program, right? Then you probably should get started with going through the program, right? If you're just stumbling on wholesaling for the first time and it's your first time, maybe you should start from this channel. Like you could literally Google how to wholesale properties, right? And you can put my name next to it, and then you will see like the first video that comes up, and you can probably start from there. But the answer to the question really depends on where you are in the game. You have to know where you are in order to know in order to be able to draw a point A, so you can draw a point A to B, right? So you need to know where you are. Are you a beginner? All right. Have you closed one deal yet? If you've closed one deal before and you're just kind of stuck, maybe you haven't closed a deal in the last 3 years or in the last 3 months, things have been kind of stagnant and you need help, or you've closed 3 deals in the past, but kind of like the game has changed, because the game changes all the time, right? And you need to know who's in the trenches that can show you how things are going, right? So you need to know where you are in the game in order to know how do I get started, But if I take that question on face value from start, right? On face value, you kind of know the processes. Where do I start from? Then it really should be data. It really should be data, because again, the name of this show is From Data to Deals. The old school guys will not be able to tell you in that language, because even though they know what data is, but as far as I'm concerned, in the 21st century, okay, if you want to win in the game of entrepreneurship, you have to be obsessed with data. Okay, you don't want to be obsessed with on manual labor, right? On thinking, hey, how many times should I go to the courthouse per week? You don't want to be asking questions like that. You want to kind of already know that it's 21st century, and the real question is that, what website do I go to get access to all the information I need? What access do I go to find out all the data that I need? Okay, what do I need? I need to talk to homeowners. Okay, what homeowners? Okay, so we're talking about distressed homeowners. Okay, yeah, distressed homeowners. Great. Where do I find information about distressed homeowners? Information, unit of information, data, right? Data. So you call it information when you turn it to a meaningful way that people can interpret, that it can become money, right? That's when you call it information, but it really starts with data. So we're talking about addresses. So now you may say, hey, should I drive around and just write down addresses? Then you should ask yourself, like, is there a better or faster way to do that? A cheaper way to do that? The cheapest way to do that is not driving for dollars. Don't let anyone deceive you. It's probably the most expensive way to do it. All right. So if you can, the best way to watch over my shoulder, this is the actual answer. The best way to watch over my shoulder is to go to 11dayschallenge.com, and you will watch me over my shoulder. Okay. Not just me talking, not talking head, right? Like right now, I can talk all day long, right, about this game, because I'm passionate about this game, right? But you're also getting entertained a little bit. You're not really exactly taking action. If you want to be able to take action, watch over my shoulder, see what I'm clicking, and take action. The best way to do that is go to 11dayschallenge.com and get started. Okay, it's as simple as that. If you're already a member of it, just go to 3pillarsystem.com and log in from there. All right, so that's the answer to that question. But if you're just looking to be entertained, you want people to talk all day, and people driving around town and just talk all day to you about wholesaling, that's listen, there are gurus out there. Many of them know what they're talking about. But if that doesn't help you, then you can go to 11dayschallenge.com. If that helps you, kudos. All right. The next question that I got over the week is this. Can you give a video going through the entire house flip project? See, kind of like the same thing, right? House flip project or wholesale process. Getting in contact with the lender. I'm not sure what he or she meant by that. Negotiating terms. From negotiation with the seller to closing. All right. So negotiation with the seller, the process doesn't stop with that. Okay. Let me see if I actually have something I can show you here. 1 second. So let's just go ahead and do from start to finish. How's that? Okay. Let's just talk about it. Right. Let me see it. All right. Good. I found something I can use. All right. Perfect. All right. Okay, so you can see this, all right? All right, perfect. This is a perfect one. Let me hide that thing over there. All right, perfect. All right, so let's talk about this, okay? This is the process right here. This is from start to finish of this game. Either you're talking about fix and flip or you're talking about wholesalers. But as a wholesaler, most especially, as a person who wants to flip houses nationwide, this right here is what you need to register in your brain. Okay, let me see if I got that question right again. The house flip project. Okay, so flipping a house. Now, if you're talking about fixing and flipping, then you probably have stages 1 through 4 taken care of for you, right? You're simply buying a house, and then you're talking about just stage 5, just basically fixing the house. That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about finding deals and then making $10, $15, $20,000, no money down, no questions asked, nothing like that, by simply finding distressed owners and distressed properties, right? So the first step is data. First step, data, which is property addresses and stuff like that. So however way you want to do that, if you don't learn how to do step 1, stage number 1, don't bother. Okay, don't bother about deals. See, deals is all the way to the right hand side, right? All the way stage 5. Don't even bother. Okay, if you don't learn how to do stage 1 first, don't bother yourself. Okay, so once you collect data, then you have to find the contact information. So not just finding the contact information, now you have to contact them. So you can either use the existing data from stage number 1, which is addresses and postcards. If you want to focus on just that, it gets very expensive because you got to do follow-up, because everyone is not going to pick up your postcard the first time and just call you. Some people need to see multiple touches from you. They need to see multiple informations multiple times from you before they actually call you. Some people need to see it over and over again before they actually reach out and say, yes, I'm interested in selling. On an average, there are studies that showed that people have to see up to 7 times your brand, your marketing information, your offer before they actually say, you know what, maybe I need that, right? So that's stage number 2, marketing and outreach. So you can't really depend on just postcards. So we have phone numbers that you can use to text these people. You can also use Facebook marketing. You can use social media marketing, right? And you all should be looking in that direction, by the way, okay? But you can still leverage text messaging and things like that. And because since you already do it, and that's where the highest attention is, on the mobile phones, okay? So stage number 2, you need to do it in the most cost-effective way, which means attention, where the attention is, where you can potentially capture the attention of these people. Now, if you go back to stage number 1, you got to pick the right data, right? So you don't want to be reaching out to everyone that owns the house. Most people that own a house don't need your services, because you need to approach this from a value standpoint, right? That's the first core pillar of the 3 pillars, right? Value. How can you solve someone's problem? Most people that own a home, you're not going to be able to solve their problem by buying their home at a discount. Okay, they're going to look at you like you're crazy, like your offer is stupid, right? So just keep that at the back of your mind. Stage number 3 is when somebody raises up their hand and say, yes, I do want to sell a property, right? Now you got to start the negotiations. What is negotiation? Negotiation is in real estate wholesaling, it's not as crazy as they make it seem. You don't have to hard close anyone. You need to simply focus on the type of data that need your services the most. And that starts from stage number one. If you do stage number one right, you won't have to sell so hard. So let's say if your method is you want to drive around town and write down for sale by owners, you're going to have a difficult time. You have to sell them on the idea of selling you a house at 50% discount. They're going to look at you for the most part like you're crazy. Okay? They're going to look at you like you're crazy for the most part. So just keep that in mind. Let's see here. There you go. All right. Just keep that in mind. All right. So stage number 4 is when you agree to a price. All right. And they say, yes, I just want to get rid of the house. Those are the kind of people you want to talk to. People that are motivated. They have to sell the house. They can't afford to hold on to the house. So they're not thinking, oh, your equity still. They're not thinking about that. They know that equity is not exactly money. Without patience, time, being able to list the property on the market, being able to take the time to get the right buyer, collect a few offers, and then go with the highest and best offer. If you don't have time for that, you don't have equity. You can't call money equity unless there's time and patience involved in that. You can write that down, okay? You cannot call it equity unless you have the luxury of time. If you don't have luxury of time, you don't have equity. What you need to be doing is signing that property away as soon as you find a way to escape any debts or liens against it. Those are the people you want to be talking to. There are a smaller percentage than most homeowners. So again, back to stage number 1. You don't want to just be talking to everyone. Okay, you need motivated, distressed sellers. That's how you find deals. It's reality that kicks in for a lot of people, and you will show up and help them solve their problem. And then in exchange, they give you a house at a significant deep discount. 65% of whatever is worth, if it's all fixed up, minus the estimated cost of repair. Okay. Stage number 5 is deals. After you lock up a good contract, now you have to be able to dispose the deal. You have to be able to find a cash buyer that will basically take over the responsibility of the contract and pay you an assignment fee. You assign the contract to them. That's the process right there. So all of this is what we break down in 11dayschallenge.com. In 11 days, you get up all set up and running. So it's easy for me to talk, right? It's easy for me to just talk, becoming a talking head. That's the process right there. If you can figure that out, if you can Google enough videos for each one of those stages, you're in the game. It's as simple as that. But again, like I said, all of those things have to be broken down into processes. Okay, you have to break that down into processes. You have to turn that into a system so you can repeat, rinse, and repeat. If you don't set up a system, you cannot do 100 deals a year. Okay, you can't even do 1 deal a month. Is that making sense? All right, so let's move on to the next one. If you have any questions, you can drop it right now. What is an LLC assignment? Anybody familiar with LLC assignment? That's a question I got. I have a video out there on LLC assignment, but I probably did not break it down. Okay, so in wholesaling real estate, you lock a property under contract, right? Ideally, you want to be able to just sign an assignment contract and sign it over to somebody else, and they pay you $10,000 assignment fee for helping them find the deal, right? So hands off. You didn't have to come up with any money. Worst case scenario, you came up with $100 for earnest money deposit, right? But that actually goes into escrow. You don't have to give that to the homeowner, right? So, and a lot of time, you don't even have to deal with that, okay? Because I've never actually put any money down. I'm just letting you know. I haven't had to do that. And that's since 2005. Okay. So what is an LLC assignment? What does that have to do with? What does that have to do with exit strategy, like an assignment? So this assignment, like that means you lock up a contract and you sign up another assignment contract, which will give you all the copies for all of those contracts, by the way, in the program. Like assignment contract will basically say, I assign my equitable rights and this property over to this person in exchange for $10,000. That's ideally what you want to do over and over and over again. But sometimes it gets a little bit more complicated than that. You have a situation where you're about to make a little bit more than $10,000. It happens a lot. My highest is $82,000 on one deal. I couldn't do that in assignment. Okay. There are multiple reasons. If your buyer is using hard money lender, hard money lender is now going to look at $82,000 for the most part and say, okay, somebody's making $82,000. Hard money lenders, last time I checked, they want you to be under $15,000, and they will rather you are at $10,000 or lower. They don't want you to make more. But sometimes you actually find a good deal that you're going to make a lot more. So in that case, you want to do what they call a double closing. So that's one way. But with double closing, you cannot buy a pre-foreclosure that you did a short sale on. There are some restrictions. There are some situational restrictions that you cannot just use double closing for. And assignment, okay? Assignment and double closing does not fit. I'll tell you two of them right now. REOs, some, not all REOs, but some REOs put restrictions on it. I'll tell you what that restriction is. Or short sales. Short sale is when you found a property, you negotiated less than what the person is owed to the bank, to their mortgage bank. They want you to buy that property and not be able to flip it. So they have what they call a title restriction. They have what they call a title chain of title restriction, meaning if you buy it right now, for the next 60 days, 90 days, you can't sell. You have to wait it out, right? So you actually have to buy it first, okay? So there are some other situations like that where you need to be creative. And one of those methods that is being used is called LLC assignments, okay? You need to find the right attorney for this in your local market. I'm going to tell you two situations again. If you negotiated a short sale and basically they give you a short sale approval, a house is worth $220, they owe $400,000. They say, you know what, we'll give you the house for $150, right? But on the short sale approval, they say there's a restriction, a 60 days title restriction. You can't break the chain of title, meaning you can't resell it. Okay, so double closing is out the window. Assignments, they definitely don't want to see somebody making $10,000 from selling the property, So, and everything has to show on some kind of odd statement, right? So in that case, you use LLC assignment. Basically, you use a LLC that's brand new. You use it to purchase the property, to lock the property under contract. That LLC could be the property's name. So it could be 123 Main Street LLC. So if you're pulling cash buyers list and you see a lot of addresses LLCs, that's probably a LLC assignment that happened. So if you lock up the property with the LLC assignment and you agreed, you own the LLC. So instead of having to go through assignment or go through double close, you simply pass that LLC, you sell it to the end buyer. So the LLC owns the right to buying the property. You sell the LLC. So you assign the LLC for a fee. So now the LLC will have a different owner and not you any longer. You collect your fees. That's what LLC assignment is. It's been done. You need to find out, make sure you use an attorney. If you're going to do it, make sure your attorney is comfortable. Well, your attorney will not do it if they're not comfortable with it. But I will not do a LLC double close without attorney personally. I want to make sure that I'm protected since I'm not a lawyer, okay? So that's what LLC transfer is. Just wanted to put that out there just in case somebody is still wondering what it is. But you really don't have to worry about that until you figure out stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You're not going to have to worry about that. Well, sometimes in stage 3, which is leads, right? When you generate a lead, if somebody is owing way too much than the property is worth, they owe $400,000, the property is worth $120, and they say, I just want this property away from me. That is a short sale situation. You may want to start thinking, forming an LLC, and then locking the contract with that LLC. And that LLC, you're ready to sell that LLC once you're done negotiating the short sale, right? That's what LLC transfer is. Okay, so maybe at stage 3, you need to know if you're going to be using that. But keep in mind that there's always a space for addendums. Even if you negotiate a short sale and the bank says, you can't flip, you can turn around and say, okay, my buyer pulled out. I need another buyer. Can you approve the same deal for another buyer? The banks are open to do that. It's just all about the money for them, okay? So you can always fix anything all the way till the day of closing, okay? So don't worry about right contract, the right structure, anything. Don't worry about that. You need to figure out stage 1, stage 2, and 3 first. Learn how to generate leads. And then stage 4, lock up a contract. If you learn how to do stage 1 through 4, you will make a lot of money in this game. And then by default, you will learn everything about stage 5 because you have a good deal. You learn how to lock up a good deal, okay? Without overthinking contracts or anything like that, okay? Plus, we'll give you the contract for free if you join our program, okay? All right. Last but not least, how do I find probate deals for wholesaling? Okay. All right. So here's the issue. The problem with this, I know where this answer is coming from. I know where this question is coming from. Okay. This question is coming from people that have been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and they heard that guru that said, just find probate deals. All those people that inherit properties and they don't want those properties. It's true. There are many of them, okay, that inherit unwanted inheritances, a property, a house, if you will, and they don't want the house, right? They don't want the house, but they don't mind selling it for a quick cash. Sometimes it's siblings. Sometimes it has to go through a process of title work, fixing the title work at the city, some headache that usually comes with that, right? But headaches equals to money, okay? Problems solving equals to money. That's the way it works, right? So that's what probate is. So when somebody dies and there's no will, right, then it has to go through a probate process at the courthouse. And what I'm going to tell you is that, there's probably a probate preset. Let me actually check inside of Empire Big Data prop stream. It's probably, let's see here. I'm going to check right now if there's a preset, a quick list choice. Actually, none. Okay. But there's some other services. I think List Source provides that list. Okay. Listsource.com. But here's what my real answer for you is. Why are you bothering yourself? That's a piece of data. That's an attribute of data that you really should not be wasting too much time on. Okay. You have multiple different options. Okay. Probate is cool. Like if a lead comes in your pipeline and the person owns a property, right, and they just want to get rid of it, they inherited it from their father, their mother. It's the same process. You lock it up under contract with the person, with the owner of record, right, and then you assign that deal once it's locked under contract. Simple, right? But now the headache comes when somebody tells you like the best deals out there are probate. There's no such thing as the best leads are probate. There's no such thing. I've seen probate leads that are just not motivated. They think their property is worth $1 million when it's only worth $10,000. There are many of them. Okay. So what happens when you waste so much energy on just looking for just probate leads, and then you end up having to argue back and forth with the person about the value of their property, right? Because the reason why you felt the need to argue with them is because you're looking for approval, because somebody told you they're the best forms of leads, and they were wrong. It's like me coming to you and saying pre-foreclosure is the best forms of leads. It's not true. It's not accurate. Okay. Even though my favorite is pre-foreclosure, the reason why I'll tell you why my favorite is pre-foreclosures is because that's how I got started. Okay. It's still to today is the easiest leads that I ever have to work with. Okay. So I've had high equity, vacant homes, right? Out of state homeowners. I've seen out of state homeowners that think their property is worth double what it's actually worth. And I've seen people that basically are facing foreclosure tomorrow, that like they're about to take the house away from them. And they tell me to go to hell because they feel like I'd rather let them take it away than give it to you at that price. Your focus, if you're looking for probate deals, your focus is all wrong. Probate deals will, if they are right, they will come in through your funnel, going through the right route channel, right? There are three things I really look for up front. It's pre-foreclosures, vacant, not owner occupied, right? Owned for the past 5 years or so. There are 11 points. There's something called 11 points that's inside of the 11 days challenge on my exact criteria that I look for. And I just go around the nation, look for those. It comes on my list automatically, okay, right from my laptop right here in New Jersey. And sometimes probate comes through it. Sometimes pre-foreclosure comes through it. Sometimes it was foreclosure 2 years ago. They're not in foreclosure any longer. Sometimes they just dismissed the bankruptcy, right? All of those things are in there. The one single thing I'm looking for is very, very simple: a motivated seller. Listen, I can do everything I want to do once I have a motivated seller. A person that says, I don't want to deal with this property. I don't care if it's in bankruptcy, pre-foreclosure. I don't care if I inherited it. I don't care if it's vacant. I don't want to deal with this property. I just don't want to deal with it. That's the person. They will tell you the story. And once you start closing deals back to back to back, you will notice that the stories vary from one end to the other. You just never know. So there are 11 points that I gave inside of the program. I can't go through that right now. That you basically want to make sure is on your list. If there's only 5 in your town, you go on to the next town. If there's only 6 in your county, you go on to the next county until you find enough to go after. These are 11 point motivation attributes. Okay, basically every time you have an additional point on this, there's an increased chance that this person is a motivated seller. Motivation is what you need to be looking for. 2 things: distressed motivation is either the property is distressed or the owner is distressed financially. Those are the things you should be looking for. And because a person went through probate in the court does not mean they're any of those things. So don't waste your energy. Like I said, step 1, stage number 1, data. Focus on learning how to manipulate data. Focus on learning how to collect and analyze data, and everything else will fall in place. All right. That's all I have for you. If you have any questions, I have 30 more seconds that I will hang out with you. If you have any more questions, and then we'll take it from there. But that's about 15 seconds right now. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. All right. And then we'll take it from there. Next Tuesday, I'll be right here at 4 p.m. If you have any questions, you can always put it on the comment area or anything like that. Okay. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you on the next one. Now, don't forget, if you're brand new, go get this for free. SmartRealEstateWholesaling.com. And if you are not exactly brand new and you didn't get started with 11dayschallenge.com, get started now. Okay, it's the best route for you to get started and actually finish in 11 days and have a business running. Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one, and peace.